Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back for episode 7 of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. This is the penultimate episode of the season. Scott has been returned or escaped, one or the other, and has revealed that his kidnapper was none other than himself, working with the Kadianagi twins for some reason. We still have so many questions that we need answers to, so let's go ahead and hop in and see if we can get any of those. So guys, if you want to see the full-length reaction, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if Government Merrill channel get you access as well. It is a watch-along format, so you will need your own footage to sync up the time codes for reaction to the entire episode. Over there, you get the same thing for all the other shows and movies that we cover here on the channel. You also get to suggest and vote on what movies we react to each month. We got monthly Q&As, behind-the-scenes footage, to try to make it worth your while. So sure to way support the channel. But guys, at the end of the day, I'd really appreciate it if you enjoy this reaction. At least leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already, because it really does go a long way with helping these videos out. With that all said out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into episode 7. Here we go. All right, we finally get to see what happened here. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, we're shifting through time, dude. Oh, shit. Is it the other him? And that, damn, he knows all your moves, buddy. Oh my God. Oh God. This animation is insane. I love what Saru's done with this dude. I know I keep talking about it like every episode, but like they just keep impressing me so much. Yep. That explains it too.
Canada.
When are we?
The future.
14 years.
And you're
Scott Pilgrim.
37 years old. Rating awesome. But who voiced him? I recognize that voice, but I couldn't place it. Oh my God, this is gonna be fun. So he's preventing an apocalypse, I guess. How did we get to that point? Oh, what the hell? To Scott, to Pilgrim.
oh wait, wow.
Same jacket. He's still wearing the same clothes.
So we actually make it past 25.
Yeah, man. Might even make it to 40.
What's up with us? Are we rich and famous? Do we win a lot of cool fights?
We do okay.
The fact that we can grow a beard alone.
That's better than I can do. What the hell happened?
Whoa! We live here? No way.
Yes way. Here, let me show you our house.
Wow. Well, I mean, he seems to be doing pretty good, all things considered.
Because I was kind of in the middle of fighting some dude. He said he was part of some kind of hockey league.
The League of Evil Exes. That takes me back so many adventures ago.
That's right, evil exes.
Fighting those exes was the biggest mistake of our entire life.
Because we lost?
No, because we won.
Oh, well, okay. Maybe I'm not too far off then.
Oh, VR? You have
It's a giant Game Boy.
You're gonna love it here.
I am? For how long?
Are you kidding me? Nice.
Welcome to the VR chamber.
Wow.
When did Knives Chow get here? Come on.
Wow. Roasted himself like that, man.
Give this one a spin.
Huh. Me and Ramona? How did you do this?
Oh, so easy. I paid some nerd on the internet.
That's that one guy. I know him. This is the league, eh? They don't look so tough. That guy just skateboarded to his death.
Oh, they're chumps. 7 deadly chumps.
Wow.
Is that our ex? You punched a girl in the boob?
Circumstances beyond my control.
So Ramona dated a robot. That's progressive.
No, she dated the twins. They're humans.
What is this?
Another red flag.
Oh, yeah.
pal.
I don't see any flag, and it's all red.
No, it's figure of speech. God.
Oh, we get married? This is really sweet, actually. And a honeymoon in Florida.
And with minions?
Yeah, I met Optimus Prime. Optimus fucking Prime.
This is a really nice project,
Wow.
man.
Oh, is that that's not part of it anymore. Ignore that one. I told next screen. The next one is what's important.
Divorce.
So, we're divorced?
Wow.
Technically, we're separated.
Oh, man. When?
After the honeymoon. A few, 12,
Wow.
13 odd years later.
Oh, never
We
mind.
must have had some good times.
Oh, sure, but those aren't in the simulation. Back to the tour.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't even mentioned the band.
Band's still together?
Sex Bomb is still going? Cool.
Sex Bomb? Ugh, no, ancient history. I'm talking about my new band, Poppin' Twinbee. The members are me and the twins.
Oh.
You said we defeated them.
Oh, yeah, duh. We kicked their ass. But after they respawned at home, I guess they learned their lesson or whatever. You know, sometimes bad guys turn into great guys. You'll learn that on a later adventure. Oh, check out our new video.
Okay, so people can respawn in this world. Oh, what the fuck?
It's a bop, right? Over 100 views.
Hey, why is all of old Wallace's old stuff?
It's still all Wallace's stuff.
Oh, when I said our house, you thought I meant me and you. Oh.
Knock, knock. You boys want some ice?
Are you fucking kidding me?
How can old Wallace afford such a big house?
I can't afford it. It's kind of a sugar daddy situation.
Sugar what? My husband is...
Don't.
Well, it's not a secret.
He's not ready. I haven't prepared him.
He's gonna find out one way or another.
Wallace's husband works at Nintendo.
Where they make the video games?
Yes.
Does he get every game for free?
Yes.
He doesn't. That's not true.
It's true. They get every game for free.
Wow. It's his sugar uncle. Technically, I guess. It's his sugar uncle who works for Nintendo. Wow.
And where's old Wallace's husband?
He's at work.
Oh, is that where he is?
I mean, I'd stay there too.
Young Scott, shut up. You're not helping.
I'm regular Scott. He's old Scott.
Fine. Regular Scott, shut up. Old Scott, why is there a younger you in my kitchen?
Huh. What do you mean? This was your idea.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, when me and Ramona were having problems, you said, too bad I don't have a time machine so I can go back and stop myself from dating her in the first place.
Buddy,
Wow.
I was obviously joking.
Well, he did it. He somehow did it.
How the hell did you get a time machine in the first place? That technology hasn't even been invented yet.
Hey, you guys are smart, right? Do you think time travel is possible?
He's retired. If Robot 01 was disconnected from the space-time continuum, he would experience the entire duration of his existence simultaneously. Which would mean, in theory at least, sure, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Was that seriously the end of the story?
Wait a second.
Huh.
You brought me to the future so I wouldn't fight the exes? So I wouldn't date Ramona?
So I was right.
I'm sure you two can work it out. Or you can tell me what you did wrong, and I can go back and do a better job.
You immediately assume I messed up. Well, I'm a good husband. I do the dishes, I walk the cats, I make the spaghettis. I won't take you back to the past until I know for a fact that you won't date Ramona Flowers.
Oh.
Because she's the one who's bad news, not us.
I don't trust you on that, but you do both have very bad track records.
Remember how you were after NP Adams dumped you? It's like that. Times 10.
Ooh. Ooh. I would imagine that, though, given the situation. But I mean, obviously by doing this, he hasn't altered his history. So whatever he's doing is fruitless, but he's also not that smart.
You record video of everything? Let's start with the moment I left. Video games rule!
Oh my god. That was great. That was great. Oh my lord, she became Norman Reedus. She's Norman fucking Reedus right now. Whoa. Dude, I like the long hair. Age, don't ask. Oh.
Stop! We come in peace!
Oh, old Wallace is teaming up with young Scott.
Sorry about this. He kept asking to see you. Very annoying. Anyway, he's your problem now.
I mean, if he can get both sides of the story.
I heard about old U's idiotic time travel plan. That's why I came up with a backup plan. A few years ago, one of your dumb friends wrote a memoir.
Ooh. Scott and Ramona and me.
Old young Neil.
If old Scott was gonna erase everything, I wanted there to be some way for you to discover our story.
Oh.
So I sent it back in time.
You have a time machine
Oh. Was she the Ghost Rider? That I knew there was some weird reason
I
behind.
don't know what that is in kilometers.
Okay, I get the plan in theory, except Scott doesn't read books.
So that's why it was a
But I thought
movie.
of that. So I moved some scenes around, combined a few characters, and before I knew it, I had a tight little screenplay.
So she was
You thought old me
counteracting
would convince
his
this me that young you
plan
was
from the
bad news,
get-go.
and he'd send me back home and we'd break up, and then one day I'd be at my local Cineplex and see a preview for a movie about myself.
Okay, the plan may have been misguided.
I mean, it sounds pretty thought out.
I had to try.
Knowing Scott.
I mean, he's the love of my life.
Oh.
Then it
What the
wasn't
fuck
misguided.
happened?
Scott, the plan was a disaster.
That's not the story I saw.
Huh?
Oh yeah. Oh.
I saw a story about you. Or another you. She was looking for me. Looking for answers, never giving up. Like that famous detective.
Columbo?
I was gonna say Detective
No.
Pikachu. But Columbo, exactly.
Your remote sounds pretty
Oh.
cool.
So cool.
Well then, we better make sure she gets what she wants.
But all we did was create a branch, right? Like, how's this time travel work? '88!
So that's why you're steaming. Wait, is future me here?
Oh,
I was just gonna drop him off, but figured I'd stick around long enough to say hi.
how does this work?
Hi.
I gotta get a picture of this.
Uh-oh.
Hey, this is yours, right?
Oh, thanks, Knives.
Oh.
While we're talking, FYI, I met someone. I'm really sorry. I probably should have told you sooner. It all just happened so fast. I probably shouldn't have been dating you in the first place. Apparently, a 23-year-old dating a high schooler is frowned upon by society.
Scott, I'm glad you're alive.
Oh.
I'm also glad you died. It gave me a lot of space to reflect and grow. So, thanks.
Thank you for dying.
Anytime.
You're back. You're actually back.
Uh-oh, what the fuck?
It must mean there's unfinished business. Emotional business.
Uh-oh.
Stop.
I hate to say it, but what if I still have to fight your exes?
I don't know.
Oh.
A lot has happened. How much did you see on that futuristic VR thingy?
Yeah, it's,
then you know the game has changed.
But the players are the same.
Are we gonna have to like speed run this in one episode?
What if there was somewhere you could find all the exes gathered together at the same time to celebrate musical theater?
Oh, shit. Are we just gonna fight them all at once, though? Or are we gonna do a Team Scott v. Team League? How the shit does this work? Oh yeah, we still don't even know what his revenge plan is. Because he wants to overthrow Patel himself. Oh, smooth. Well, he was eating meat.
Todd Ingram, the former vegan. Never heard of him. I'm a solo act now.
Oh, interesting.
Everyone have their tickets?
Oh, Knives is geared up.
Then it's time for
Oh,
the big finale.
shit. Damn it, dude. You're going to cut me off right here. God damn it. Will Forte! That's who it was. Well, all right, man. Damn. That was such a fun episode, dude. There's a lot to unpack for the most part. Some of it, honestly, there's a lot that wasn't said, so I'm not sure how deeply we can get into some of it. Because obviously, well, we nailed it on the head, at least, that, you know, after everything, you know, when we got our first glance of this world when we were brought here, I initially thought that I was wrong and that it was actually an apocalypse-related thing, because everything is just kind of run down, decrepit. While there are some, like, futuristic buildings, you know, the futuristic bus, the tech they're wearing and using and stuff like that, it's like, it's kind of like, I don't know, man. Is the outside air contaminated? I don't know, because they all had these face masks and stuff like that. But then there were scenes where we cut away, and you know Scott would be out on his deck just fine, and Wallace went out when he took young Scott to go see Ramona. He wasn't wearing a mask or anything like that, but like so much was dilapidated of the old world and run down, and a lot of foliage overgrowing over everything. I got a lot of questions about this world. Obviously, I don't think we're going to be spending too much time more in it, so we probably aren't going to get any of those answers. And much like that, leading me back to the point I kind of trailed away from, is that we ended up, in fact, being correct. Scott was trying to go back in time, prevent himself from ever dating Ramona in the first place, so that he would undo or prevent any of this hurt that he would feel in his future from ever occurring. So he's trying to rewrite his own past so he would just never feel any of this pain at all. Which in a way is kind of what he did with Envy. You know, Wallace kind of called that out. It's like your breakup with Envy, but times 10. Because his love for her was even stronger. I mean, they were together for what, like 14 years? Seems like only recently is when it kind of started to fall apart. It's unfortunate, but sometimes that stuff happens, man. You know, they were separated, even though he was kind of being a little exaggerative in his little, you know, PowerPoint presentation that he hired somebody from Fiverr, I guess, to animate for him. You know, he took it straight to the divorce. He's already seen doom at the end. It's almost like they probably hit some road bumps. It kind of gives me some Chandler vibes, you know, when he's still trying to get used to a mature relationship, even though they've been together for so long that like he hit a road bump and he automatically assumes it's over. But I mean, they are separated. He's living with Wallace. Ramona's off on her own. Now, is Ramona living in their old home? Like, is that her apartment just beneath it? Or is that where they used to live together? Or do they now just not even have their own original old place? So many questions. Again, what did they fall out over? What happened? I like, and probably rightly so, I like how Scott assumed he was the problem, and older Scott took offense to that. It's almost as if he's reliving the exact same lessons that he had to learn the original time to win Ramona in the first place all over again. It's kind of like a cycle. Sometimes we repeat them throughout life, and he's kind of hit that roadblock now, but it's almost kind of ramped up a little bit more than it was before. It's kind of interesting to see that, though, but it's also informing younger him to tell a different story, to define a different way. And he's like, he even tried to offer, he's like, what if you just tell me what you did wrong and I can try to fix it? And that's when he kind of was like, why do you think I did anything? It was her. She's the bad egg. But I don't get that feeling, man. I don't know. Ramona also doesn't have a good track record, but when we visited her, Like, she really does feel remorseful or seem remorseful about the way things have played out. Even so, her feeling that way could not necessarily absolve her of fault, but unlike Scott, who's trying to just erase that hurt, erase that pain, just like kind of with Envy, like he was trying to never think about it. Like he emotionally detached himself from the things that would trigger that memory. You know, this is why he'd freak out when he mentioned his haircut or any of those sorts of things. Anything that took him back to that memory, he was trying to avoid it. So it's just one of the things where he's so like kind of aloof so much is because he wouldn't allow himself to be in any kind of moment. And he's kind of doing that here. He's looking for distractions. He's looking for ways out. He's looking to avoid confronting it. While regardless of how things played out, Ramona appreciates that knowledge, that experiences those times because she does care. Like she said, he's the love of her life, and she's not going to let that go. I don't think she'd even stop fighting for it either, but, you know, she can't make Scott do anything. You know, Scott's got to come to that realization on his own in some way, whether he's fucking gone in this weird-ass roundabout way to do it, but again, I'm not going to try to, like, go too hard in trying to understand the logic of the way this world works, but, you know, we talked a little bit about time travel in the last one, about how obviously what he did didn't work, because if he did succeed, he wouldn't have been able to go back and do that in the first place. It creates a paradox. But depending on how time travel works here, it could be, I mean, hell, we got Back to the Future referenced in here by itself. You know, if there is a time change, it might have a delayed sync up time. So things may have been altered, but we haven't seen those effects take hold yet. You know, kind of like the photo where they kind of had a real-time gauge on what was changing and what wasn't based on what was actively happening in the past. So it could very well be that those changes haven't been cemented yet. So it could also just slightly alter because despite all of his best efforts, Ramona still was trying to find him. She was like unrelenting. And that's what Scott saw when he went back and he looked through these memories through the robot, through all the things that it observed, was that persistence, that love. Like, even Ramona was like, it's a tale of love, it's a tale of sadness is what our story is. It's like a heartbreak or whatever it was she was saying. I forget the exact words, but basically like Scott was like saying, that's not what I saw. That Ramona, like, she was driven. She was trying to find me. She was just going above and beyond to get him back. And he's like, well, let's give her what she wants. And she helped him go back. Because, again, she was like, even if he was trying to make him forget, it's almost kind of a Eternal Sunshine moment. I'm not going to go into that too much, because if you haven't seen it, it's a wild movie. It's one of those movies where I've watched it one time. It's a great movie, but I don't know if I can handle watching it again. Like, it's one of those kinds of films. It's very emotionally taxing. It's beautiful though. But it's interesting to me that it kind of parallels that. It kind of is wrestling with that same kind of ideology in a lot of ways. But Ramona's trying to make sure that if he's trying to forget all of this, she wants that to be in there. She wants him to remember. She wants that story to exist. She doesn't want their time to just fade away into nothingness. So she interfered. She went back. She made that script. Thought in some roundabout way, if he did succeed in making Scott not date her, that he would still find some way to bump into that story. And even though young Neil wrote that book, she knew Scott is not a book reader. He's not much of a reader. He's more of a visual person, so she tried to get it adapted into a movie. But of course that all fell apart, and she thought her plan failed, but it really didn't. It still spurred on herself to go find Scott in the wake of it all. And honestly, it reformed a lot of the villains along the way too, a lot of the evil exes, and brought them together in different ways as well. So it had a little bit of a trickle effect, and maybe in this way, in this tampering with time, we might even have a better future. Because Scott's also got this information now. He's also got this level of understanding that he kind of got at an earlier stage now. And we saw that when he went back, confronted Ramona, and even went straight up to Knives and confronted her and just let it out. Even though, obviously, by this point, Knives had figured a lot of that out on her own, but he still, without knowing that, without any of that, just still went up and prompted her. I would love to know what actually happened between them, but maybe that's not really important to the overall story because it doesn't feed too much into the important meat of the emotional arc. But like, I like old Scott, played by Will Forte. I know I recognize that voice, but I just could not place the name on it until we got to the end. We also learned another thing about how this world works. You know, we get some little ins and outs and things that are like cemented in the world a little bit, like vegan powers, subspace highways, and, you know, the video game logic that plays into all of it. And one of those, you know, like in the book, you know, Scott gets an extra life along the way, and that allows him, when he dies once, to resurrect and get back in the game. And we learn in this that when he defeated the Katayanagi twins, they just respawned back at their home, and they ended up being great guys. And he said, you learned that along another adventure. And it just makes me wonder, like, what other adventures does Scott go on after the whole X debacle? I would love to see stuff like that, and maybe that'll open the door if this does well enough or anything. Maybe if Brian O'Malley wants to continue anything, we could see some of those, you know, post Scott Pilgrim versus the World moments. And we still don't know what Gideon's got up his sleeve, because now we kind of we're gathering all of our exes, because we need to speed run it all in one bout. Because despite them reconciling the time chicanery, Scott still can't be with Ramona until apparently he defeats the exes, which is weird, because this block, again, this is me trying to rationalize the logic in this world. You know, he's had no problems kissing her up until this point, but now they can't physically touch lips at all. That's interesting, but things have changed. We got an internal thing going on within the exes themselves that we got set up in the last episode too. Gideon's got his own plan that he's cooking up for revenge against Matthew. Todd doesn't even have powers now. He's not a vegan anymore, so how's he gonna fight? There's so many things that have definitely changed, but Scott's also prepared for that. He's bringing his crew. So are we gonna get a 1v1v1, or are we gonna get just a straight 7v7, and it's just gonna be a straight free-for-all brawl between Scott's team and, you know, the league, which isn't even a league now. They're all just kind of on their own. They're all just so broken apart. And obviously, we've even made amends with some of them. So, like, with Lucas, like, how's that going to play out? You know, and if Gideon does start to show his hand, play his cards against Matthew, what side will Lucas fall on? Because he kind of made amends with Ramona, but he's also become friends with Gideon. You know, Roxie has also made amends with Ramona, but are they still going to fight? I'm very curious to see how the next episode wraps up. It feels like we have a lot of stuff still, a lot of loose ends still, but we have so little time to wrap it all up, and maybe I'm overcomplicating it. Maybe they have a way to close this off real nice. But, man, seeing this episode, like, and spending a lot of this time with Scott has made me even more so miss not having so much Scott throughout the story and having him grow. But I do still love what we got with Ramona, with these other characters, and, you know, taking a break, because we still got all of that stuff with him and all the other stuff. I just, like, with this being animated and adapted and stuff and brought into this new medium, I would have loved to have spent more time with this Scott. And cross my fingers, man. It might be asking for him too much, but maybe we will if they continue this. If we continue the story in this new realm, that would be cool. I'm not going to hold my breath for that, though. But I'm just kind of curious how this is all going to go down in this next episode, man. Everybody's geared up. Knives is in her, like, final bout outfit. She dyed her hair even to get into what's the word I'm even looking for? Get into that battle mode, whatever. Also, the awkwardness between Ramona meeting herself, and they both were doing the wrong pose in each one until they both just gave up and just gave the, like, fucking, like, nothing stare. That was hilarious. You know, the DeLorean stuff, we got the fighter combo to open the Game Boy, Detective Pikachu, the Virtual Boy, we got all kinds of stuff in here. And even though I thought in the moment we were getting my uncle works at Nintendo thing, now that I'm thinking back on it, you know, if Wallace is Scott's sugar daddy and he's married to his sugar daddy, they're just two sugar daddies. That wouldn't make them, one of them or whatever, a sugar uncle. They're not brothers. So that whole thing just fell apart. I thought I was onto something with that. And it's still kind of funny. It's still the my blah 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 works at Nintendo. It's still that, at least. So it is kind of, it did lean into that a little bit. I will also say that little, like, music video that he did with the Katayanagi twins, that they played the original during the credits. I don't know I've never heard that song before, and I don't know if that was a reference to anything, because it didn't give you subtitles for what he was saying when it wasn't in English. So I don't know what that was alluding to or anything like that. That one definitely went over my head. I don't know at all what that is. But in the way that it was animated, in the, I don't know, that aesthetic, something about older Scott made me think of Stan Marsh. I don't know why. Maybe it's his eyes, the shape of his head. Something about that whole sequence just made me think of South Park. Don't know why, but yeah, man, great episode. Fun as hell. Guys, what'd you think of this episode? How do you feel about how this is all unfolding? Let me know what you guys thought down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full-length reaction, check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, get you access as well. And speaking of before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends. Manny Sherritt, Ryan, Karen, York, Scott, Melito, Robert Anguiano, Jeffrey Hale, Jake and Trail, Eric Official, Amy Becca, Casey Wood, and Scythe. Thank you guys so much for continued support. But that's it for this video, guys, and I'll see you all in the finale. Take care, everybody.